Went through the same thing. Yes, ma'am.
This is going back to the respect thing, like teaching children respect. I think children need to be taught that there's a proper chain of command to follow too.
Exactly.
When my daughter, she was in a terrible situation at the beginning of the year, and she came home and she told me, and I was like, okay, first of all, you should have went straight to your teacher, and you should have told the teacher you want to go talk to the principal about that, because that's not, there's a line there that that kid crossed, and that's, mommy wanted to get on the phone and call his mommy and have some words, let me tell you.
I understand.
And I know his mommy. We went to school together. So
Yeah.
it was easy for me to say, okay, I'm going to call Callie and get this girl's number. But I chose to follow. I wanted to set the right example for my daughter. So I started with a message to the teacher, then a phone call to the principal. And I will tell you this. I mean, I think it's important that we teach our children to follow the chain of command. But I did tell the principal, I said, listen, I'm going to you because I feel like that's the right thing to do. I said, we are Christians. We try to follow the Lord with all of our heart. I said, but let me tell you, if this is not addressed and this boy continues to pick on my daughter, I have given her full permission to put a holy smackdown on him. I said, if he touches her, I said, she has had a year of Taekwondo. She can put the smackdown on him. I was like, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I said, I want this to be taken seriously. And he said, Miss White, as a teacher, I must, or as a principal, I have to, encourage you to not tell your daughter to not do that. But as a parent, I fully understand.
Yep.
And I don't know, I think that, when it comes to, if we want people to respect us, we have got to go about and be respectful. Because I could have
Yeah.
said, Mr. Mervin, I don't care what you say. I told my daughter to go in there and beat the crap out of him.
Yep.
I think we need to teach our children that if we want them to respect their elders and the teachers and the principals, we have to have that same respect.
There you go.
Because I didn't call him and say, hey, Travis, what's up? I said, hey, Mr. Mervin,
Yep.
I need to speak with you about this. So I think that our example of respect is what is going to make our children respect.
It's
And,
huge.
my daughter is younger than me, but I'm not just going to walk up to her and slap her around and be like, listen to me. I think that, and some people really disagree with me, but I think that we also have to show them some respect too. Because
Exactly.
if we don't respect our children's boundaries, everyone think nobody has to respect their boundaries.
That's exactly right.
And, I tell Hannah all the time, your sister has more strict boundaries than you. You'll hug anybody. She's not a hugger. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important that, it's not just, you have to respect me because I'm your elder, but, that the respect goes both ways.
It does go both
I
ways.
think that we should respect our elders, of course. But, if Peggy was to, and I'm just using you as an example, but if Peggy just walked up to my daughter and slapped her across the face, I'd be like, Peggy, we're going to talk.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting right here. You don't slap my kid.
No, if I did, if I walked up and slapped your daughter, I expected to get a slap.
I mean, that's something I think that unfortunately, some of the older people do struggle with. You're going to respect me because I'm your elder. Well, that's not,
No.
You can't rule with an iron fist.
And see, that comes from, you got a lot of old school, and I don't know how much it is in other areas, but in the South, everybody raises a kid, everybody works together. If I see you messing up, I'm going to tan your hat, Okay, guys, we need to approach everything from that Christian point of view. We forget that part. See, when we're teaching about respect, we're talking about respect from that Christian point of view, not just who cares, whatever, you're old, I respect you. No, it needs to be from that Christian point of view. I've had to explain to many students that, do you want me to treat you without respect? They're quick to say, oh, no, ma'am. Because, I can treat you without respect if you want me to because you're acting disrespectful. So, should it be equal? Because we have to think. Yes, ma'am.
I had an incident at school the other day. He was saying the GD word and stood his middle finger up at me. And I said, I don't have any respect for you. And I said, I'll pray for you. I said, I don't have that in my heart to say that word and hear that word.
And
that's against all Christianity rules.
unfortunately, at the home where the mentoring should be taking place, for that individual, it's not taking place correctly. They're getting mentored all right.
I handled it really well.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I didn't like it at all.
No, and boy, it'll fire you up on the inside. The spirit of slap will come into your hands, and you just want to handle it. However,
I just told him I didn't have any respect for him, for doing that to me.
and the best thing that you could have said to him was, I'll be praying for you.
That's what I told him.
So proud of you on that one. Let's look over in Titus chapter 2, verses 6 through 8. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a good pattern of works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. There is, and once again, I'm going to take you to the soccer park. In the concessions, our boss says, referees and workers, you get all the free bottles of water that you want. Okay? You need to stay hydrated. You need that. It's hot outside. Nowhere in that does it say, and take a Snickers every once in a while, or a bag of popcorn, or have them make you a hot dog. He doesn't say that. I have some younger individuals who will come into the because it's all attached in the same building, the room where they have to go in to get their supplies, the concession stand, and they'll come through and come into the concession stand like they're going to come take something. In particular, we have little miniature Slim Jims. They're like 50 cents. Hey, I'm just going to grab one of these. They're just little. And I look at them and I'm like, no. Do you have a bottle of water? And they'll be like, yeah, I got water. I'm like, that's what boss says you can have. Oh, they ain't going to notice one simple little Slim Jim. They cost nearly nothing. And I look at them and I'm like, when you hand me 50 cents, I will hand you a little Slim Jim. Because that's what boss says. I said, now, after you work all night long, if he tells me to give you something else, I give you something else. The problem is when I'm not the one in there. The other person that works it is a cute little teenage girl.
Timid.
And guess what they do? They'll swarm her in a heartbeat.
They'll walk right over the
They
top
will
of her.
distract her. They won't listen to her, all the kinds of things like this. And she has told me, well, that one right there, he doesn't listen to anything. I said, he'll listen tonight. Sure enough, here a couple of them came. And they're like, I don't want water. I want a Gatorade. And I'm like, sorry. Hand them a bottle of water. There you go. If you need more water, I'll be here all night. And it has gotten to the point to where I had to look at them because there was an entire group standing there wanting to come through and help themselves. And I'm like, get out of the concession stand. Tell me what you need. I will bring it to you. Do not come back in here. And if need be, I can lock them out. I haven't yet, but I can. And I'll tell them, if y'all keep on, the doors will be locked. Do you really want that? No. And I try to tell it to them in that kind of voice. All right? I don't think Timmy has seen and heard all of it, but he's been there for the majority of it to understand what I'm talking about. He can verify what I'm saying. But you have to do these things. You have to teach. You have to guide. You have to mentor. You have to do this stuff in love. When people come and they have absolutely no respect or they use certain bits of language that we really don't care for, they act certain ways. Okay, be a certain way around them so they can learn from you. That whole golden rule thing, by the way, you can't find golden rule word for word in the Bible. It's in there in a different content, but, that do unto others stuff, I act how I want them to act. Hopefully they'll pick up the hint. Have y'all ever done that? You have to. You just have to. You have to show that sober-mindedness. You have to show, no corruptness. If I start handing out free Slim Jims, guess what? Well,
You better be paying for it.
Yeah. And I have had my son come in and say, I can't just get one of this. And I usually keep a couple dollars in my pocket in case I want something different. I'll pull up my dollars. I'll go over, I make sure he sees me putting it away, and then I'll walk over and I'll hand him a Gatorade and say, there you go. And he's like, the first time I did that, he went, you just paid for that? I said, of course. You expected me to steal it? He's like, no, I thought the workers got free drinks. I said, yeah, it's called water. You have to train. You have to show the example yourself. Now let's talk about us girls. Over in 1 Timothy chapter 5, the 2nd verse. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all, what's that last word?
Purity.
Purity. Should you speak of vulgar things in front of other females?
Or personal things?
Or personal things? The Bible teaches, there is a scripture, you might know where this is located, somebody help me out, that things done in darkness, where should they stay?
In the dark.
They should stay in the darkness.
But everything's going to be brought out into the light.
I think that's either in Proverbs or Psalms. I'm not sure. You should not talk about, oh, here we go. And this is just stuff that I have heard, okay? Whether it be at work, whether it be, I've even heard it, sadly, at church before. Not today. But I've heard it at church. A group of women get together, they'll start talking about men. I've heard women even start talking about their own sex lives. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Will you please tell me what this 15-year-old girl needs to know about how many times you and your husband are together? You see, we are their examples. And we're supposed to do it with all purity. Aren't we supposed to do that? I don't want them knowing about anything personal of my husband. It's not their business. I don't want to share anything personal about myself. It's not their business. But now if I need advice, I could go to one person and say, listen, I look at you as a mother figure to me. Can we talk somewhere private?
And we do have to do that one of these days.
I'm a little afraid now. All right, so, but I mean, it happens. I've had, even though I started out a little bit younger as a pastor's wife, I have had older ladies come and talk with me, even about needing advice in very personal areas.
But God will give you wisdom. And not only that, He'll give you the discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's certain people in this church, that young people, young girls, that I've wanted to pick up and shake and say, who dressed you this morning? You know, I mean, I've wanted to ask them, are you looking for a boyfriend? Or what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But that's not my place, because God's never put it on me to say, go over there and speak to her. So I go to Stelina, and I'll say, Stelina, I think you need to address this, because it's not my place. First of all, I would not address it properly. I would say, no, I would not do it the way, because I never raised a daughter. I don't know how to respond to a girl.
Yeah.
So that shows a perfect example of the difference between knowledge and wisdom. You have the knowledge that she shouldn't be dressed like this, and the wisdom to know who should handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
because
that's
I know it's
idea.
not me.
But that's why God gives you people in different roles within the church. And I have had people approach me before saying, have you seen so-and-so? Yeah, well, I've seen her, and I've seen a lot of her, and I don't want to see all of that. And it gets the point across, and I'm like, all right, I'll talk to them. I have talked to people about too low cut, too high cut, too tight, too thin. You pick it. I've had to talk to them about it. I've, as weird as it sounds, I've had to even talk to young men about we don't like the whole cut off, letting it show all the way through and things like that. You don't need to do things like that. This is the house of God. Are we not giving our best? Doesn't He deserve it? you know, and once again, I now have a son. He loves cut-off shirts. And when I say cut off, I mean cutting the sleeves off to go work out in. And he came in, I believe it was on a Wednesday night. I said, "You ready to go to church?" He said, "Yeah, I'm ready." He had on a pair of shorts and this cut-off shirt. I said, "Well, where's your shirt?" And he said, "I got it on." And I said, No, you've got that shirt on. Where's the shirt you're wearing to church?" He's like, "I'll go get one." And he immediately went. You have to train. You do so in love. A lot of people let a lot of things go. It's not for me to let a lot of things go. For myself and my household is what I'm meaning. And yeah, I do have higher expectations. I had a young man, this has been several years ago. Young man got so mad at me that he wanted to quit church. He actually was yelling at me in anger because I had talked to some young ladies about how they were dressing to work with children because it was just not acceptable. And I had to teach them better. They went and told him he was their friend. And he came and he jumped my case for it. So people all have different viewpoints, but when it comes down to it, that's why we have leaders. That's why we have elders. That's why we have people in different roles within a church, is to try to help. But the main thing we've got to remember, all things that we're helping in, mentoring in, teaching, training, all this good stuff, it all has one major focus, and that is to be more like Jesus.
Honor him.
Okay? We need to be more like Jesus. Women as mothers, I love my daughter. I love her. I would do anything in this world for her. So if I treat you like you're my daughter, then guess how I'm going to treat you? With a whole lot of love. The younger, as sisters, I love my sister. Now, do we sometimes have words that are maybe a little bit louder than what I would with a mother? Yeah, that's my sister. But it never stops us from loving. And that main thing, with all what? Purity. Look with me at 1 Timothy 5, 3, and 4. Oh, our church does this one so well. I love this one. Honor widows that are widows indeed, but if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God. I apologize. I want to go on to Titus because we're going to get into the home a little bit more and what it means to really be in need. All right, so Titus 2, 3 through 5. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
Or gossips.
That means don't gossip. Not given to much wine. Don't get out there and get to drinking. Teachers of good things. Try to keep it on the positive side. Verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. To be, and this word right here smacks me in the face. Does this smack anybody else in the face? To be discreet. Anybody else out there with me? You just like a 2 before to the forehead. Charlotte, you should raise your hand with me. Anyhow, very discreet. All right. Chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. Listen, we need to understand that we should discipline and control ourselves better than where we come from.
That's a hard thing for ladies in the South, because we have got that whole, I'm a strong woman.
I don't need no man.
That's not just the South. I was raised in the North.
It's awful, because you've got that, that Southern belle,
Let's just say it how it is. It's been since World War II.
Yeah, when the feminist movement got.
All right, when the feminist movement stepped in there, it is, I'm going to get what's right. I can do it myself. Me and old Rosie over here, look at us. We've got the muscle and the bandana, and we will take care of that job and the others. Just give us a chance.
It's not even that it started off like as a bad thing either.
No, it started off
We
good.
had to do something, but the problem is when sin gets tainted in there. You know, I could go on for days. I won't even get started on some of the clubs that started off as a good thing. But
Yeah.
people got involved and sin got involved. It turned into something terrible. And now, you know, you got people shouting that, you know, David is you know, toxic because he's masculine and because, you know, he's trying to raise his son to be a boy.
And he actually cuts his hair off.
Yeah, I just, there's so many, like I said, I could go on
Yeah.
too long about this one, but, you know, I think it's, and this sounds so sexist to say almost, but I think it's important that women do learn their place.
Yeah.
And it's not, I should not be trying to lift myself up above David. He's the head of the household.
There is a spiritual setup that God has for our households. And I came from that same kind of house, all right? I can take care of it myself. I will change the flat tire. I will buy the car, fix the car, drive the car, and if I need to, I can make money with the car, all right? And that's just how I was raised that way. That's how society raises women. You don't even need to call yourself a woman, honey. Let's go with non-binary. Non-binary, that is a computer term. Unless you come with a keyboard, don't come and talk to me about non-binary. All right? Because if I start punching in what I think that you are, you might not want to hear that. Anyway, let's understand society has gotten into it little by little. They got into the whole, a woman can do it all and take care of it all. And then there have been situations that the woman did have to take care of it all.
Exactly.
So, yes, God made us strong enough to take it. We can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, eat it, get the heartburn, make the Tums. We can do it all. God made us where we could. We can do it all at the same time. We are multitaskers.
It's very lonely.
It is very lonely because God did not make us to be alone.
It's
God
very
created us.
Oh, I don't know. Loneliness is the word. Isolated is the word.
Isolated is a better description. God didn't make us to constantly stay alone. He made us, if you get studying over in the Old Testament, we're supposed to, I believe that word was multiply. Aren't we supposed to replenish the earth? I mean, know what God is teaching. Get in and study the Word. There's so many people that doesn't fit my need. I want what I want.
The problem with both super feminist and super masculine is just the hoarding of one ability over another.
Yeah.
It's just, if you just use it as God's design as complementary to each other and work as a unit, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is beautiful. And my thing is, like Charlotte, I could go for hours. I'm going to have to cut it right there on me because we just got to go on. I wanted to make sure that we pointed out.
This.
Is that the one for? Yes. This last section of Titus 2, 11 through 15. Now, this is talking about how we help. All right? We are peculiar. We are a different group of people. I'm proud to be different. I'm proud to be peculiar. I'm not talking about to be the greatest weirdo that ever walked the face of the earth either. I'm talking about I don't have to be like the rest of society for people to like me. I don't have to go out here and earn friends. You know what the Bible tells me I have to do? To have friends, what do I have to do? Be friendly. That's not that difficult. It doesn't say that I have to go out here and get matching haircuts. I don't have to paint myself blue. I don't have to have the best car that there is. All I have to do is be friendly to have friends. And you know what? When people see that you're friendly, don't they naturally come to you? They want that. We get enough of negativity. We get enough of the bad. But when a person comes to our church, and this is the part I want to say before we close out, I want you to understand how your church works on helping people. Lots of people, when they look at a church, they see a piggy bank. I'm pretty sure of it. It's like instead of the cross on the front, they see the face of a pig because they're like, ooh, cha-ching, there's a church. Look how big that building is. They've got money. Let's go ask them for some. And we do get that a lot. Once upon a time, we would just give, oh, well, here's some cash. Well, here's an offering. But your pastor, God has given that man some good wisdom. And the wisdom is we don't just hand out money. Now we will look and say, well, what's the need? Oh, I need $50. For what? My water bill's due. Well, who is your water bill through? And then usually I get on the old horn, or I do some way. I'll show up at the water department. We go pay the bill. We don't just hand out $50. You see, if we just hand out the $50, that $50 might turn into anything for that person. They might go waste it all on scratchers. Oh, I could turn this 50 into 5,000.
Oh, my goodness. I knew a couple in our church back in Rhode Island. They were in such financial strait, and we were helping them, Joe and I, and they decided to take their whole check and buy lottery tickets because they went to the casino and they put it in some kind of a game or something, and they lost it all. And then she came back and said, I don't have any money at all for
Now I have nothing for groceries.
my rent.
Oh, rent.
And I said, well, what happened to the other half? Oh, well, we went to the casino. We were going to double it. I said, oh, so whose pocket did you double it in?
Yeah. Because
It
they sure
wasn't
didn't double
yours.
it their own. Yeah. And
Yeah.
see, as a church, we can't just throw money away.
No, that's when God taught me that you have to be wiser than
Very diligent.
and wise.
Should we help?
Yes.
Absolutely. But do we need to watch how? Absolutely.
So I think that's something that has really struck me kind of hard. When you're going down there, and I'm not picking on anybody for panhandling. I mean, sometimes, people get in dire straits, they need help. And, you should pray, and if God lays it on your heart to donate money to somebody on the other side of the road, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have actually learned that, there's a care center in Greenville. If you want to help out, donate your money there.
That's
Because
exactly
she's
right.
getting people, this last month, she put 2 people in a home, got them started on a job.
Yep.
She's making a difference. And
She's making a huge difference. That was the care center, in case y'all didn't hear that. They're located in Greenville. It is a wonderful situation. If you are homeless, they literally, if you walk into their little building they have showers available, they have supplies available, they have food all day long. So if you won't have to go hungry if you go in there. If you are serious about wanting to get a job and do better, she is working with people, putting them in a home that they have rented. The care center is rented. They have up to 5 people in a home, and they're getting them jobs, and then they help them find their own apartment after they work the job enough to get that money set. It's an awesome organization. I'm glad you brought them up. Yeah.
To that, I do also believe they run a thrift store too.
They do.
To make extra income if you just want to go buy some clothes.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful thing. I'm going to let you close up on this. I'm going to hand this out.
So Titus 2:11 through 15, for the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world, looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity, purify us himself, a peculiar people, zealous of good works. These things seek, exhort, and rebuke with all authority. Let no man despise thee. That's what that's where we're supposed to be heading towards honoring God, honoring what Jesus did for us on that cross. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for listening, and I praise you. Praise the name of Jesus. I am so thankful that he came. He saved us. He delivered us from hell. I am so thankful. And, you know, if we show the love he showed us to others, we'd have a lot more people in this room. So thank you.